Welcome to Fine Fires YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about the Disney parks and its future. So, we've been doing a lot of Pixar Fest coverage lately. There's more to come as day one is tomorrow. I'm going to have vlogs, live streams, lots to cover just from now on until the end of summer. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. In today's video, though, we're going to be talking about the future of the Disney parks because there's a lot of money being invested, and where is it all going, and what are the time frames? You know, those are all the questions we've been asking. D23 is not that far off, where a lot of this really will be unveiled, but here is a lot of speculation and what's to come and numbers. This is an article from Hollywood Reporter. Disney bets $60 billion its parks will power the future. That's what I'm talking about. On a visit to Anaheim in April, a crowd of park goers, oh my gosh, park goers wearing Loki, oh my gosh, it doesn't let me highlight stuff. Park goers wearing Loki horns and Ratatouille chef hats cheered as a robotic Spider-Man swung through the air and slid upside down to the ground at Disney California Adventure. Across the way at Disneyland, the wait times for the sleek battle ride Rise of the Resistance Star Wars Galaxy's Edge stretched 90 minutes. It's always 90 minutes. Undeterred fans in Jedi costumes clustered to wait beneath the looming cliffs of fabricated Star Wars planet. The demand for the newer franchises is unsurprising, no duh. But in an interview, The Hollywood Reporter with Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney Experiences, points out that even Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, a new attraction based on two of its oldest characters, is drawing big numbers. Mickey and Minnie's is amazing. What I'm proud of is that all of our stories continue to resonate as strongly today as they ever have before. D'Amaro says the executive is tasked with harnessing that demand into even bigger growth engine for the company. You know, we've heard Disney say turbocharging. They're going to turbocharge Disney experiences. As he leads Disney's $60 billion investment in its park and experience division over the next 10 years, at his disposal is the wealth of unexploited IP. Well, where are they going? As far as we know right now, it's just Tiana and Avatar Land. And I'm talking about just strictly Disneyland. Obviously, a lot of crazy stuff might happen in Florida and other parks. You know, Shanghai, they got that dirt field. But not a lot has been said just yet. All right, let's see. At his disposal is wealth of unexploited IP and cruise line and more than 1,000 acres of land available for development across companies' 6 resorts. On the way, the exec will have to contend with Comcast Universal, which is launching a highly anticipated Florida park in 2025. Next year, baby! As well as workers pushing for increased wages and more unionization, which just happened at Disneyland, and lingering consumer pain points over pricing. Under CEO Bob Chapek, fans grew outraged over the introduction of a reservation system, which is still here. It's still freaking here. To manage crowds post-pandemic, as well as paid add-ons to skip the line, which, depending on the option and the day, could increase the cost of a ticket that starts from $96 per day to $96 per day in California by as much as $30 for Genie Plus, less for individual ride. The wild card for planning is Disney's succession race, where D'Amaro has seen his name floated as one of the leading contenders to take over Bob Iger. Josh has to be one of the leading contenders because he's been through this ride of before pandemic, after pandemic, and then he's only risen to the top, even at higher levels now. And he went from Disneyland president to like the top of Disney experiences in a matter of like one and a half year. It was crazy how fast he moved up. So I could see that. His name floated as one of the leading contenders to take over Bob Iger when CEO's contract expires at the end of 2026. Does Bob Iger really even leave, though, in 2026? When asked about the board of directors' deliberation, D'Amaro responds like a politician who's mulling higher office. He said he's concentrating on the job at hand. I love Disney brand, he notes, and it has been incredible to have Bob Iger back and watch what he has done from fixing the company to now moving toward a building mode. What I'm squarely focused on right now is making sure that we're turbocharging, once again, the word turbocharging, the Disney experience business. It's crazy. Tomorrow division, which also includes consumer product and totals about 180,000 employees, has driven profits for the company each quarter, reaching an all-time revenue record. In the first quarter of 2024, income for the segment reaches $8.9 billion. 2023 and up 23% from previous year. That's insane. Disney's making in their Disney experiences 23% more. Holy macaroni. And up from $6.8 billion in 2019. It's a high return on investment unit, and the Burbank-based company is leaning on it as it pushes for profitability in its Disney Plus led streaming service, which has made no money. You know, one thing when I keep reading these kind of things, specifically that paragraph we just went over right here, to me, it sounds a whole lot like we ain't trying to keep doing these $200, $300 million movies anymore. And we're kind of cool creating the physical aspect, the in-person experience, which is theme park, cruises, and entertainment, restaurant, all that. Because it's the return on that is honestly infinite. Disney just makes money. I'm all for it. This is incredible news. It's as a theme park fan, this is like literally the perfect thing you would love to hear, is that they're trying to drop big money on expanding parks, creating new lands, obviously new hotels. It's crazy. Analysts and Disney leaders are bullish on the resilience of business segment. You look at the returns and where you're going to place your bet in terms of capital to deliver value to shareholder. That's the business to do it, CEO Bob Iger said of the Experiences division at March 5th investor conference. While they're investing in direct-to-consumer, those theme parks have played a really important role in providing ongoing growth. Yeah, theme parks, especially Disneyland, has just been printing money. And honestly, holding this company up for a long time. Do they provide a snapshot? Dude, oh my Lanta. Okay. About 70% of the $60 billion investment is earmarked for new experiences in the park and cruise line. 30% for tech, infrastructure, and maintenance. Several new attractions are expected to start opening 2025. What does that mean? I'm guessing that means maybe the new cruise line kind of thing. Domestically, the company is looking to a $1.9 billion plus expansion of Disneyland and California Adventure in Anaheim as part of the plan called Disneyland Forward, which does not increase the current square footage and acreage, but rather would allow building on the land if approved by the city, which is like May 7th, right? We're like right around the corner to that. They already voted unanimously April 17th, and May 7th is the final vote. Several franchise attractions for the area have been floated, with Iger reiterating during the April 3rd shareholder meeting with an intention to bring lush green Avatar Land to California. We will have enough room to build the equivalent of another Disneyland park, and so then you start to think about, well, what can we do here? Tomorrow says we haven't told anything. Any stories on Wakanda. We haven't told any stories on Frozen. Although it's a 10-year-old franchise, you think about franchises like Coco and Encanto, we almost have an endless stream of stories that we can tell. Wow. That's straight from tomorrow. So they're thinking about Coco, Encanto, Frozen, obviously Avatar. Oh man. In Florida, Disney plans to spend $17 billion, which includes a transformation of Epcot, updating Splash Mountain with Princess and the Frog, and other new rides. The company unveiled a plan to turn Dinoland USA at Animal Kingdom into a land called Tropical Americas, featuring stories of Encanto and Indiana Jones with architecture and art inspired by the Mayan civilization. Overseas, plans include bringing World of Frozen to Paris, renaming the park to Disney Adventure World, and adding new entranceway. The company opened World of Frozen in Hong Kong Disneyland in November, so literally just happened not too long ago. Fantasy Springs, that's the big one this year. They're going to be Frozen, Tangled, Peter Pan, and it's planned to open Tokyo Disney this spring. Zootopia themed land bowed in Shanghai Disney Resort in December. Tomorrow hints that it may appear in other parks as well. What better park than freaking Disneyland? I have a feeling Zootopia is coming to Disneyland forward. When we saw that video a long time ago where Bob Iger finally announced and revealed concept art of Avatar Land, before that, in that video, they showed Coco, Frozen, Zootopia before they went into Avatar. And I feel like that was just foreshadowing. It's their way of saying, like, this is what we're thinking about. Could happen. I'm really starting to believe it. Now that they're saying that there's hints that another Zootopia land is going to come, and we already have Zootopia technology here at Disneyland. It's the same ride system as a Mickey and Minnie's and a Rise of the Resistance. So to get that type of ride and replicate it for Zootopia, it's gonna I have a feeling they're gonna replicate it. I don't think they're gonna get more fancy and create something new. There's also a possible merging of the company's digital and physical ambition. Tomorrow says in February, Disney inked a $1.5 billion pact with Fortnite Studio Epic Gaming to create an online universe that features Disney IP. I think there's almost an inevitability. I hate that word. An inevitability that these things will all start to merge. Tomorrow says, and that's why we think it's important to be in now early with Epic and create this space and then let it grow. After the company, I don't think we have to read this. Yeah, we're good. It just talks about the Star Cruiser and whatever. The goal now is to keep increasing interest in the parks through new attraction and reach more of its addressable market of 700 million people as identified by income and Disney affinity. At California Adventure Park, the company already has several lands in addition to Avenger Campus, including a Western-themed Cars land surrounded by red cliffs and a test track with cars zipping through the hill, which also saw long lines in recent visit. It always has long lines. Colorful Pixar pier filled with rides related to the property such as Inside Out and sitting underneath a red tubular Incredibles-themed roller coaster. I like how they show, or they start talking about California Adventure, and then they throw in this photo. Oh, man. When thinking about what content to turn into theme park attraction or new lands, Tomorrow says, his team works location by location in terms of what consumers want. With an eye to the different demographic of consumer, Disney's trying to attract to the park. In the case of Zootopia themed land, featuring colorful habitats for each animal depicted in the movie and police chase inspired ride, the movie was at one point the top animated film in China. Makes total sense why they dropped it over there. So the team wanted to bring it to Shanghai first, knowing it would resonate with the consumer there. Marvel Avenger Campus, which is outfitted with superhero headquarters, roaming Iron Man, Capital Marvels? What the hell is Capital Marvels? As well as Guardians of the Galaxy ride, rebranded from the original Tower of Terror, was meant to appeal to the younger and more diverse attendees. While there's no ideal timeline per se from movie release to attraction, Tomorrow's team typically has an early look at the coming film, TV projects in order to envision the next step. As Kevin Feige in Marvel Studios is thinking about his new storylines, my team in consumer products is in where they're writing those new episodes. Tomorrow says, Imagineers on my team are in with Kevin and his team thinking about those characters and how they might come to life inside our theme parks and what attractions might be. So if you're looking at some point at some of the recent releases that Kevin and Marvel team have had, almost day and date with those releases, the characters find their way into the theme park. Deadpool Wolverine. That's all I keep thinking about when I see that. The division tries to learn what consumers want via research teams, talking to guests in the park, as well as those who have visited previously about what they'd like to see. This includes Tomorrow, who is often in the parks himself, which is true, he is out there a lot, and outside research on where the market may be headed. We're also talking to our guests all the time, and so have a really good sense of what they're reacting to on screen and understand how they translate that into stories inside our theme park, cruise line, experiences around the world. But we also have a pretty good sense for when our content partners are creating something that is going to resonate with a specific guest. You know, I really want to believe that they're on top of things like that, but the delay of Grogu, when all that hype came out on The Mandalorian, there was no toys, merch, nothing. And then to replicate some Grogu in the theme park in any type of fashion, it felt like it was like 4 years. So I don't know. I guess these teams work in 4 year behind like time frames. Thus far, the park chiefs Disney is on track with its allocation of $60 billion, calling the strategy incredibly disciplined. Tomorrow notes, every single investment that we make has to be justified onto itself. The $60 billion is expected to be self-funded from the parks, a proclamation that helped counter some initial Wall Street reluctance on the spending. Iger has also said that the company is not going to allocate all of the $60 billion initially and wants to leave flexibility in the budget for new attraction or hotels if a new hit movie comes along. So, you know, I've read this a couple times, this phrase right here, and wants to leave flexibility in the budget for a new attraction or hotel if a new hit comes along. They have no idea what's a hit anymore. Where the Disney brand, and regarding to the media aspect, movies, shows, whatever, they don't know what's going to be the hit anymore. They've invested a lot of $200 million projects that have just flopped hard, which I bet you internally they thought it was going to be the best thing ever, and it wasn't. So, yeah, I could see why they're saying flexibility, because we don't know what's going to be good, what people are going to like in the 10-year frame, you know? The possibility of an economic downturn causing drawback in consumer discretionary spending could also pressure the $60 billion plan. Hopefully they just follow through no matter what, man. Comcast has been investing a lot into their theme park and getting strong return on them. And that kind of forces everybody to have to up their game. Oh, man. The possibility of an economic downturn causing drawback in consumer discretionary spending could pressure the $60 billion plan, pretty much not to slowing down or just not happening for a while. Comcast has been investing a lot into their theme park and getting strong return on them. And so that kind of forces everybody to have to up their game, the analyst says. In hopes of gaining market share, Comcast NBC Universal plans to build new Epic Universe for 2025 featuring 5 lands, which we've talked about those many times. Achieving its highest adjusted earning before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization record of $3.3 billion in 2023, up 25% from the preceding year. So Universal is just killing it when it comes down to profit in their park. In the quarter ended September 30th, 2023, Universal's 5 theme parks brought in revenue $2.4 billion. While the comparison isn't exact, given that Disney's numbers also include its cruise line and other experiences, in that same time period, Disney reported $7 billion in revenue for that segment. So they're like 3 times as much as Universal. Begley says Disney and Universal are much closer competitively than they ever were, thanks to the popularity of Universal's newer attraction. At Disney April 3rd shareholder meeting, Iger noted that the company has been aware of Universal expansion park expansions for more than a decade. It has time staggered the launch of several attractions in Florida to bring new attendees, including Pandora, the World of Avatar, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, and a renovation of Epcot with Ratatouille and the water ride Moana. We're always aware of what's happening around us, Demaro says, but I think what's kept Disney experiences above and beyond anyone else's, we're always looking forward. We're always thinking about technology in a different way than competitive set. We're always thinking about how to immerse guests into stories in a completely different way. This is awesome. It's exactly what we want to be hearing from the Disney company and from, honestly, the right people. Bob Iger, Josh D'Amaro. Shanghai, as far as I know, it's been a great success. World of Frozen as well. Super popular. People are going to travel to that. It's going to be something that for the next 10 years, people want to see it. They want to experience it. And for Disneyland Forward, it's going to be the coolest project I think we've ever seen out of the Disney company, because we're getting a lot of expansion at Disneyland Resort with the most money this company's ever had, and at the same time, the newest technology this company's ever had. So the possibilities are endless. I really do hope, if possible, we get that Frozen Land, Zootopia, I guess Coco maybe, Encanto, all of these properties. Wakanda was another one I was mentioning. All these properties that come to Disneyland in some form, either California Adventure side or Disneyland side, these are all great additions. Disneyland Resort is already perfect. But I think their issue for the future is capacity. They want to increase it. How do you do it? More land, more attraction. And we'll see how these next 10 years turn out. It's gonna be quite a ride. And I feel a lot of this future, I think, is gonna really be unveiled at D23. This is the biggest D23 we've probably ever had since the company started D23. This is probably the biggest one, I think. What are your thoughts on all of this that we read from the article? Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And the future's bright at Disneyland. Smash that like button. We're firing it down.